Imagine yourself parked up in your car, and in your hand you have a lottery ticket. And you're waiting for the page to load up on your phone so you can check the numbers. The jackpot is 150 million. And as you start to check the numbers against yours, one after another match up. You get to the last number and you realize that you've actually hit the jackpot. You literally cannot believe what is happening to you. How do you think you would feel in that moment? Excited, happy, joyful, to say the least? Even if just before this moment you were feeling down or stressed, this event would turn your mood around in an instant. What about a 6-year-old kid on Christmas Eve who is absolutely buzzing that tonight Santa is coming to his house to bring him the presents that he's asked for because he's been such a good kid all year? How amazing do you think he feels even though his presents aren't even under the tree yet? In both of these scenarios, the positive emotion is actually happening before the event that they were anticipating. Whether or not you have a winning lottery ticket in your hand, the money still isn't in your bank yet. That surge of excitement, that joy, that is the power of anticipation. It's a powerful motivating force that fills you with positive emotion and can energize you out of a low in an instant. Picture this. There is a man lost in the desert. He's had no food for nearly a week, and yesterday he ran out of water. His energy levels are depleted. He staggers slowly through the sand, and he's just about ready to give up and accept his death. But just then, he comes over the top of a dune and sees an oasis with palm trees and clear water. Instantly, he gets a burst of energy out of nowhere, and he runs towards the water and dives in. But was the oasis real? Or was it just a mirage? This is where things can get interesting. Have you ever heard of gold medal syndrome? Gold medal syndrome is a phenomenon that elite athletes can experience after finally achieving a gold medal, like at the Olympics. They trained for years for it, sometimes their entire lives. Motivation, dedication, anticipation. And once they achieve it, somehow it can leave them feeling disappointed, depressed, lonely, with low self-esteem and a loss of self-worth. Surely this doesn't make sense. They've just won an Olympic gold medal. They should be on top of the world. But no, instead they feel empty inside. The anticipation of something pleasurable or meaningful triggers the release of dopamine in our brains, which is the motivation and reward hormone. This surge of dopamine makes us feel happy, energized, and focused on achieving the desired outcome. The bigger and more pleasurable that we perceive the desired outcome to be, the more dopamine that is released. Once we get what we want, our brains work to reset. Dr. Anna Lemke, in her book Dopamine Nation, wrote, "Our brains evolved to bring us back to neutrality. This means that the highs can only be as high as the lows are low. Once a highly anticipated and sought after goal is achieved, dopamine levels will drop way below normal, restoring the balance, but making us feel miserable." This explains gold medal syndrome. There was a study conducted where scientists stopped rats from being able to produce dopamine in their brains. The rats lost all motivation to do anything. They didn't even eat, and they ended up almost starving to death. You need anticipation and dopamine to live and thrive. It makes you feel motivation to get up and do things. And when you feel motivated, you feel great. Positive emotion caused by dopamine release is not only created in anticipation of a reward though. When you make progress towards that desired outcome, your brain also releases dopamine, rewarding you for your effort. Imagine a rat having to go through a maze to get some food that it knows is at the other end. But once it enters the maze, it can no longer see the food that it knows is there. The anticipation that the rat felt when it first saw the food would start to wear off, and after a while, the rat would start to become uninterested and end up abandoning the pursuit. But the rat needs to eat to survive. So as the rat makes progress through the maze, its brain releases more dopamine to keep it focused and motivated enough to endure the journey. Our brains release dopamine in anticipation of and for making progress toward desired outcomes. Our brains need to do this for us to feel motivated to pursue things, because for us to stay alive, we have to pursue things. So how do we achieve the balance between the positive emotions of anticipation and progress while avoiding the post-achievement crash? The key to this lies in crafting a compelling vision under meaningful values that will provide us with an ongoing journey of growth and purpose. When you write a clear vision of the highest future that you can conceptualize, it will offer a continuous source of positive motivation and progress-based rewards of feel-good emotions. Instead of only defining a single or set of goals to achieve, which will set you up for emotional emptiness once you achieve them, you defined your most important values and you created a meaningful vision within each of those values. So what you're aiming at and anticipating isn't just a single or set of objects or outcomes. It's actually a journey of growth and becoming your best self. It's a way of life that will continually challenge, inspire, and uplift you. Don't worry though, you will still achieve those specific things that you desire along the way, but you won't have that post-achievement crash afterwards. You'll just see it as part of the fruitful harvest of doing your best, making progress, and a life well lived.